We have all gone through a circumstance where we wake up one day and had plans of being productive. We go through our morning routine and decide to go on social media for some time. By the time we realize, we have remained in bed, either going through skits on TikTok or watching Netflix. This day is also wasted. So when will you begin to be productive? Why and how?
What's up guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'll be talking about how I am able to study for 4 to 5 hours with no breaks twice a day. If you are new to the channel, my name is Enoch and I am a student at Aho University in Ghana. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe down below and leave me a like. Keep watching. The first question that comes to your mind is, why will I study for 8 to 10 hours in a day? Well, the short answer is, there's this sort of self-accomplishment that comes with studying for long hours. You feel like, yeah, I've made good use of my time and I've been productive for the day. I do this for two reasons. One is to increase efficiency and productivity, and the second is to maximize the free time I have later on in the day to interact with friends and do whatever I want to do, like shooting videos and editing them. Talking about increasing productivity and efficiency. Mostly I study for long hours without breaks because staying at one place and concentrating on one thing increases productivity of the body and brain. When you take breaks between studies, you will be gullible to stop studying when you start doing something on the break. Especially when you start watching a series on Netflix, you'll be like, oh, let me finish this episode, and by the time you realize, you have remained on Netflix for the entire day. We all feel bad when we waste our time doing things that don't really matter. You can waste time on TikTok. You can spend like 4 hours on TikTok without realizing it. I've been a victim and I know you are too. How do you feel when you finally decide to close the app? Disappointed in yourself, right? It is normal. That's a sad life. Also, talking about maximizing free time. When you do all the work in the early hours of the day, you realize that you have more time to do whatever you want to do later on in the day. After all, you have been productive for 8 to 10 hours. If you are connected to me on social media, especially WhatsApp and Snapchat, you realize that from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. you will never find me active. Unless from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. and from 3 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. you will never find me active too. This is the time I am busily studying. Someone may ask, so how am I able to study for these long hours? Well, it is simple. The first thing is planning. So what I normally do is to plan what I would like to do the next day, the night before. In this way, when I wake up, I'll feel like I have something I must do. Not until I do this thing, I'll feel like a piece of me is missing. So whenever I plan, I make sure that I execute the plan. Good planning is always recommended for achieving a productive day. Another thing I do is believing in myself. Like, I've set a standard and I always believe that I can do it. When I go and sit down to study, I always feel like yesterday I was able to do 5 hours with no breaks. So today too, I can do it. That standard alone keeps me motivated and makes me focus on one thing for a very long period of time. The third thing you will want to do is to stay seated. Have you realized that the more you sit at one place and focus on something you are doing, the more you get yourself into that continuous mood of studies. This continuous mood of studies is something known as the concept of flow. This concept of flow was first coined back in the 1960s by a Hungarian-American psychologist called Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. It is defined as a highly focused mental state conducive to productivity, where people are so focused on doing one thing that nothing else mattered to them at all. So according to Mihaly, there are 4 basic principles that govern the concept of flow. The first one being time, the second one being clarity of goal, the third one being challenge, and the fourth one is distraction. Now let's talk about time. To get yourself into a state of flow, it takes time. That is why you have to be seated for some time to initiate yourself into that state of flow. Don't expect that the moment you sit at your desk, flow will be induced into you. No, you are not superhuman. It is an integral part of human that when you start doing something, it will take time for you to be so invested in what you are doing. And the time you are so invested in what you are doing, this will help you to accomplish more for a very long period of time. According to studies, it takes a maximum of 30 to 45 minutes to initiate flow. Now, the second principle is the clarity of goal. What is the point of you sitting on the table for so long time? What do you want to achieve? We all have two goals we want to achieve, the micro and the macro. The micro is what you want to understand, what you want to get from learning that section that you are doing right now. That section of the material, you need to know it before you go to the next chapters. This is our micro goal. And the macro goal is what you want to achieve in the future based on what you are learning today. This may be like passing the semester or being on the dean's list after the semester or graduating with a first class since everything is cumulative. With this in mind, you are always motivated to study because you know that there's a reward after all. The third principle to remain in the state of flow is challenge. What do I mean? Don't take a challenge or take a material that you want to study that is too challenging or less challenging. When the material is less challenging, it will be like your skills are more than the challenge you are faced with, and this will make the studies feel boring and even kill the mood of flow. But when the challenge is too challenging, you feel like what you are learning, you are not understanding it. Let's take for example, you want to learn integration, but you don't know limits or differentiation, but you want to integrate by parts. You just feel like you are seeing stars. Nothing will be going. You just sit down and something will just say that this thing that I'm even learning, I'm not getting it. Let me just stop learning. I'll do it later. You keep saying I'll do it later, I'll do it later, I'll do it later. By the time you realize you have not done anything. So what I mostly do is to pick a challenge or study a material that builds on my skills to ecstasy. Let's say that I want to study differentiation. First of all, I need to know what are functions. I need to know what are limits. I need to know what a continuous function is before I'll be able to fully understand differentiation. And when I do this, sometimes I can even remain on what I'm doing for about 5 to 6 hours without realizing it, because it keep building my skills and I get to understand the material better than when I jump to go and start something that is more challenging than me. Whenever I get to differentiation, it will be like I'm building up on my skills from what I've already learned in the previous chapters. That's what I do. I just don't stand up and then go and pick a material and then start learning from anywhere, because to get somewhere you have to come from somewhere. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. The fourth principle of flow is distraction. Distraction is the enemy of flow. Ladies and gentlemen, for God's sake, please keep your phone away from your studying desk. If the phone is near, you will likely touch it. You will want to know what is trending on Twitter. You want to know who sent you a snap on Snapchat. Hey, Abigail sent me a message on WhatsApp with a love emoji. By the time you realize, you are scrolling on your phone like for 1 hour. So what I normally do is that I keep my phone like 2 steps away from where I am studying, or even far away from where I am studying, and also put it on silence. Because when I feel like I want to touch the phone, it will be like now before I have to stand up and then go and take it. That will be too much waste of time for me. So I always sit at one place, focus on what I am doing for a long time without touching my phone. My phone can be a very great enemy, but I know how to combat that enemy. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of this video, and as you can see, this is how I am able to study for 8 to 10 hours a day. I don't do this regularly though. I only do it like 3 or 4 times a week. And when I am in school, I will not get all these 8 to 10 hours to study. When I'm in school, I do like 3 hours or 4 hours, and that will be enough for me. I have classwork, I have group meetings, and I have other projects doing so. And if you have not subscribed, please subscribe down below, like and leave me a comment, and wait for next week's video. And Charlie, thank you guys for the support and everything. I really appreciate. Shout out to all these guys for showing me the support. And this week, my random subscriber that gets the 10 Ghana cedis worth of airtime is Nanaya Ejewa Buama. Charlie, I really appreciate you for the support and everything. See you in the next video next week by this time. Bye.